What do you know? I'm back. I like old computers with active matrix displays. Thanks, young'un.
No, I'm just kidding on. Welcome to this Video Sans Frontier video. My name is Jay Wakefield. And today is October the 9th, 2016. Which means, Happy Leif Erikson Day, everyone! Hinga dinga dargan! Yeah, it's, if you don't get the joke, I didn't until a few minutes ago. It's from an episode of SpongeBob SquarePants. Anyway, in this video, we're going to be taking a look at an old machine, because I realised over the past couple of months or so, I've mostly been doing newer stuff. And, you know, I feel that we need to change that. So, presenting for your consideration, the Dell Latitude XPi P133ST. Now, what am I planning for this machine, you might ask? Well, I'm planning to make it into a Windows 3.1 box, because it has an active matrix display and it has sound. But it's still kind of old enough to be somewhat period correct, if you will. So, let's get started. First thing I want to do is to run the Dell Portable Utilities diskette. Or, if you're a big fan of Peter Norton, the Dell Portable Utilities diskette. Sorry about the moving of the camera there. It's a bit tricky filming this machine, because I've got to find a balance between me being able to see it, you guys being able to see it, and me being able to operate the floppy drive, which of course is mounted on the front of this machine. Well, that's good. That's very good. Seems that this disk does not boot. Well, how can it be a non-booter if I kind of need it to be able to boot to create the save to disk partition? I don't know, but let's see if I can do a minimum. Okay, that's not good. That's DOS disk 1. I'm aware that I will probably need to remake a couple of disks. Okay, take two. I'm expecting absolutely nothing here. So here goes nothing. To quote Juraga 1, it works! It works! Okay, so first thing I want to do is I want to check the partition table on this hard drive. I think it's empty, but to find out for sure, we want to go into fdisk. And then type number 4 to display the partition information, and we find that there are no partitions defined. So what I want to do now is I want to make a save to disk partition. Why? Because I can, and it would make the experience of using this laptop a wee bit more complete. So I need to run make s2d . Sorry, MKS2D. If I could actually blooming see the screen, it might be nice. So what's happening now is apparently apparently there's no room for an S to D partition. Right. Okay. I call bullish on that, if I'm going to be completely honest. Okay, so let's put DOS setup disk 1 back in the drive. Can fire up F disk again. So there's no partitions defined. So I think what I will do is I'll just go to setup and then let it take care of the partitioning. So that's it, went and created a partition for me. That's awful nice of it. I really appreciate it doing that. It means a heck of a lot to me. So now I can enjoy this brilliant wee cup of Scottish blend. So that's the hard disk formatted and repartitioned. So what I need to do is set the system locale, and the keyboard layout, which on the Latitude XPi is the British one. The XPi CD MMX, however, had an American keyboard. So this is MS-DOS installing, and once it is installed, then I will pick this video up. Well, I'm back, and it's actually quite a bit later. You might be wondering why. Well, quite simply, got bored, fucked off to Aldi, got some stuff in, came home, had to format disks before I went out, rewrite a bunch of DOS disks. Yeah, basically my MS-DOS disks, they've decided that they want to fight back. These aren't original ones, but yeah, I'm reluctant to continue using my original DOS disks over and over because they're originals. I'd kind of like to preserve them, so I use copies. Anyway, time to install the supplemental tools. Install all the tools, and I'm using a VGA display. Files are copying. Oh, do you want to overwrite? Yeah, go on. May as well do. So I've been playing this for the past 11 years when I've been messing about with MS-DOS. This is brilliant. Also, I appear to have found a computer case screw. Great! So that's the supplemental tools installed. Now, I want to install Windows 3.1. Very nice. However, I don't want to install it from floppy disks. Basically for the same reason as, well, for the reason that MS-DOS has been trying to fight me. Floppy disks sometimes can be a wee bit unreliable, and they can also be quite slow. However, that does not mean that I want to decry the humble floppy disk. It simply means that I will need to find a way to get this laptop to be able to take data from a sound bagel. How would I do that, you might ask? Well, I do have a couple of ideas. One of which might be to introduce you all to this, a PCMCIA CD-ROM drive. So basically this plugs into the PCMCIA card slot, and then it uses this cable to connect to a portable sound bagel cutter toaster. CD-ROM drive. However, in order to do that, I need to install some drivers, not only for the CD drive, but for the PC card slots themselves. MS-DOS really isn't the most intelligent operating system in the world, and you literally have to spoon feed it everything, which actually is part of its charm. And again, wouldn't have it any other way. So, in order to do that, I'm using a program called Card Central, which is, for some reason... Oh, there we go. Try putting the disk in properly. This isn't good. Dell PC Card Central, and it's telling me it needs Microsoft Windows. Hang on a moment. What if I was to cd into the CardSoft directory? So, to surmise, this does not seem to have any DOS version of CardSoft at all. I find that quite strange. I know there should be a DOS version of CardSoft utilities that is included in this lot, but yeah, doesn't seem to want to make itself known. Certainly not on this floppy disk. However, I do appear to have somewhere, actually, I think I have another CardSoft disk. So I'm just going to now start searching through my floppy disks. CardSoft MS-DOS. I don't know what this version goes to. I can pretty much guarantee you it's the wrong version. Okay, let's see if this will work. Seems to be 2 PC card slots. It seems to have found some. So, card services allocation utility. I don't want the ATA card driver. Don't want that. Certainly don't want any of that. Client driver, PCMCIA card library, card information utility, yeah, I'll take that. Card soft config utility. Right. I'm hoping I'm installing stuff that will actually work and not stuff that will bog the system down and decide to make the PC card slots recalcitrant. PC cards in DOS is something that I've always kind of just done with blind luck. There's a lot of these older PC cards I've never actually worked with, so yeah. I know that there was quite a lot of different sorts, and that PC MCIA cards originally were for memory. Right, okay, so that's modified the config.sys. That's gonna, yep. Card services allocation utility completed. That's absolutely fine. Exit to DOS. So, okay, the idea here is now DOS should be fully cooperative with PC card support. That's kind of hope. The thing is, yep, certainly seems like it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in the Toshiba CD drive. That is telling me that the CD-ROM drive has got some life in it. It's been detected. So now I will... What I am going to do now is copy over the CD-ROM driver and set it up for use with DOS. So let's do that now. I think it's arccd.sys, the Arcos CD-ROM driver. Believe it or not, that seems to work in DOS with these Toshiba drives. Well, they're kind of TIAC units. They've got a Freecom version and a Toshiba version, and I think it's actually a TIAC drive underneath. Yep, I was right. arccd.sys. Copied it into the DOS directory, you know, just to make things as simple as they possibly can be. My colleagues in the office would be pleased with that. Okay, so first of all, what I'm going to do is going to MS-DOS editor and load up config.sys. That's good. And then what I'm going to do, device equals cdos arccd.sys, and then give the driver a name, arccd.sys, and then go /d for driver arccd01. That's good. I am going to be making more changes to this later. I'm actually going to be having a multi-boot configuration. Not dual boot as in DOS and Windows 95 or something. More a multi-boot menu for DOS. So it'll have different modes. So based on what you want, it's going to have different menus. I'll probably do that off camera because I like to concentrate on that sort of stuff. But I'll try and talk you through it, you know, once I've done it. Plus, it'll be nice to actually be able to see the screen when I'm doing that. So now in auto exec, I am going to need to tell MS-DOS to load up the MessageX extensions, Microsoft CT extensions. and feed it the driver that I've named, ARCCD01. So, hopefully, if I've done this properly, what will happen is, once I reboot this computer, the PC card CD-ROM drive will come to life, and I will be able to access it in DOS. Well, that's a theory. Whether it actually happens that way, well, I mean, that'll just be kind of the stuff of dreams. Okay, sometimes dreams can come true, as the Walt Disney Company keeps trying to tell kids, indoctrinating them with their glittery, powder-coated sass. Okay, that's done. So, I will now try and root out a Windows 3.1 bagel. Look at all those files. So, what I've done is I've copied Windows 3.1's installation files into a directory on the hard drive called WinDRVS. You know, kind of standard practice for me. So, all I need to do now is run setup, and for the meantime we're going to use the standard VGA graphics adapter. Don't want to overly complicate things just yet. There's plenty of time to do that later. Keyboard layout British, language international, enhanced keyboards, blah 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 blah, Microsoft or IBM PS2 mouse. I will need to find the Logitech trackball driver for this system. Okay, so now we are in Windows Setup proper, and it would seem that the trackball has been disabled. Well, I have a PS2 mouse plugged in. That's not a problem. So basically what I want to do is that. Do I want to set up any printers? Actually, yeah. Sometimes I don't know what it... Well, actually I know exactly what it is. Sometimes Windows 3.1 tends to work a lot better if there is a printer set up, even if said printer is not connected or doesn't ever plan to be connected. So here we go. Windows 3.1 is actually just installing now. I don't mind doing this on video because everything's been copied to the hard disk. It's literally going to take seconds, especially on a 133 MHz Pentium system. Right, so to set up the printer that we don't have, HP LaserJet 4, I think so. Why am I trying to use a scroll wheel? That's not going to work. Right, here we go. I know I could literally choose any one of these printers because, you know, really doesn't matter, but I don't know. We use LaserJet 4s at school, so it's what I know. Anyway, continue here. We are going to install network. May as well tell you what the other PC card is that I plan to install. We are going to install that, but not just now. Again, you know, I just want to get basic Windows set up before, you know, try anything. Right. Do I want to find any applications? Yes, I think I do. What applications do we have? Quick Microsoft QBasic and MS-DOS editor. And why don't we throw Smart Drive in there? Yeah, don't really need any of that. Besides, what I can do is I can actually set up a much more elegant looking a program group full of all the supplemental programs that come with MS-DOS. So once again, we're just starting MS-DOS now. I forget what size drive's in here. Hopefully it's big enough. It should be. Right. Excellent. So here's how to set up a program group for all the DOS supplemental utilities. Basically, you just go navigate into the DOS directory, type setup, and throw a /e switch at it, and then it'll just kind of plant a nice wee program group full of all the Microsoft tools. And here is what that program group looks like. So you get Microsoft Antivirus, Backup, and Undelete. And that is not a program that lets you run away quickly in Mexico. You know, Undelete. And I guess I could install the Windows incantation of CardSoft. I don't know if it corresponds with the version I have on here, but could be good for a laugh. I have actually copied a lot of the drivers for the system onto floppy disks because that's basically how Dell plays it with these older systems. Dell PC Card Central may not run correctly on this unsupported system. Yeah, you know what? Good call. What about the Dell Latitude display drivers? And at this point, I probably should explain that I'm using the ones for the Latitude XPi CDMMX. Whether these will work or not is another thing, but having had a look into it, it does seem that these drivers are actually for these drivers do seem to be for both the XPi P133ST and the XPi CD series of laptops. Sorry about the constant moving of the camera once again, by the way. It's yeah. So what we're going to do now is attempt to install the correct display driver, which will allow for higher colour modes and higher system resolutions. Now, one thing that's a bit odd about this machine is it doesn't have 1 meg of video RAM. It doesn't even have a meg. It has 896 kilobytes of video RAM. Now, what that basically means is, while this will support 16-bit colour, and it will support running the screen at 800 by 600, which is this monitor's native resolution, it won't support doing both at the same time. So for 800 by 600, I have to go with 256 colours. Of course, Billy Core will tell you that this is probably not the worst thing in the world, to be honest. So as you can see, we've got options there, 256 or 65,536 colours. What do I want to display it on? Monitor, LCD panel, or simultaneous? If I select 800 by 600, the option for 65,536 colours is greyed out. That's perfectly fine. What we're going to do is just OK that and then restart Windows. And there we have it. Now, this doesn't have the nice light blue title bar that you see on that you see with other video drivers in Windows 3.1. Bit of a shame. Again, not a problem. We can live without such fripperies here. What we will do though is we will change the color the color scheme a wee bit. So 0. There we go. I just want regular teal. There we go. I don't want that greyed out SAS version. And yes, I am having great trouble right now seeing the mouse pointer. I am going to need to install the trackpad drivers. The trackball, sorry, drivers. I'm not doing too well today, I must admit. I know exactly how to get the light blue. There we go. And there we have it. A nice wee colour scheme for ourselves here. I'm going to just kind of spice things up a bit. Why don't I do that? And then what we can do is we can make the desktop something nice like navy blue. There we go. And what I can do from here is click OK, and there we have it. We've got a much nicer looking Windows here. So there you go. That's what it looks like. Obviously the colours will be slightly off due to the angles of the screen. An IPS display this is not. Now let's go ahead and get some more utilities and drivers installed. Now this disk had the save to disk maker on it. I was able to actually create a save to disk partition after I made the primary partition on this hard drive. Okay, so the Dell accessories have been installed. Here's what we have. Basically a Wii control panel for controlling all of the features specific to this laptop. For example, the PC speaker volume, security, let's not go into that, display brightness, power. Then you've got the ports. Then you've got some system information, I do believe. So I can tell you that this system has got a Pentium processor with an integrated math coprocessor, 24 megs of system memory, and a 2 gig hard disk. That's kind of nice. And system BIOS is A07. But as I'm having real trouble seeing the mouse pointer now that the screen resolution has been increased to this laptop's native resolution, I think it's time we actually went and installed the trackball drivers. Now these aren't specific to this machine, but they are. I'm going to guess for a moment that this machine has a Logitech trackball. And so this is what we're going to go with. I remember finding this in 2005, I believe it was, on the internet. it was basically being able to use something similar to gain large mouse pointer support in Windows 3.1. We used something very similar at Temple Bank, based on the updated mouse control panel that comes with this particular program. So what we're going to do is it seems like we're doing nothing at all. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to restart the machine manually, see if the DOS Cyberman drivers have been installed. Okay, that's absolutely fine. What I want to do with this is I want to change the auto-exec file so it doesn't search for two mice. And I can do that by going down here where it says mouse dual, and then just deleting the word dual. And all I need to do then is save that, exit, and then I can restart. There we go. And here we have the Logitech Cyberman mouse control panel. Nice. So what I want to do here is I want to go to cursor, I want to invert it and make it very large. And now I can actually see what I am trying to do. Although, to be honest, the control has went completely erratic. So what I will do is I will see if I can slow it down a wee bit. That's the only problem sometimes with these third-party mouse drivers, is that, you know, you don't get the control that you'd like. Oh wait, this... Damn it. That was double click speed. I think... There we go. This is much better. Great. Okay, well now we've got that installed, I think it's time to install the sound drivers. And hopefully these are the right ones. So first off, we want to install the driver. That went well. What is this? We're in a PCM type situation, or virtual PC type situation. Oh yeah, this is completely sent it. That didn't go wrong at all. Wait. We'll try this a second time, and if it doesn't work, we'll have to have a look at other drivers that may work. That's not good. I think there's a volume control on here that's a wee bit on the manual side, but well, that was a bit interesting. So I've got to turn the volume up and down to be able to get... I don't know. Oh my goodness, the sound is still going on, even in DOS. That's not what I wanted. Okay, so attempt number 2. I have, I believe I have just copied a, well, hopefully an updated version of the driver to the floppy disk. It's a Dell installer, so hopefully this will work. Because if it doesn't, I really don't know what to do. And I just don't know what happened there, but I can't imagine it was good. Okay, I'm starting to kind of lose my patience with this now. Definitely starting to lose my patience. Okay, so now it is the next morning. It's actually 5:15 on Monday morning, and I finally got sound working. Oh, it's been quite an ordeal getting this thing to go. Turns out I actually needed to use the ESS 1688 driver, and I got that from the Dell Latitude LM, oddly enough. But now I've installed sound. That's going. There's also the PCMCIA network card installed along with the CD drive. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to see if I can confirm these settings. Right, okay, my username is J. Wakefield workgroup, and the computer name is Latitude XPi. So now this is a way installing everything it needs. Excellent. See, we have full working sound. So hooray for that. There we go. So what's happening now is everything has been initialized, installed and what have you, and I bet there's absolutely no base memory at all whatsoever. Great! Right, okay. I know I can't see the full screen on here. Oh, right, there's a problem. Windows for Workgroups network was not started. Check your configuration in the setup, run setup again. Right, why was it not started? I hate that. It just says it wasn't started, and it's almost like it's waiting for you to hit an option to start it. I don't like this. I really don't. There's no network drivers loaded. Well, there should be. There really should be. I mean, this laptop has given me absolutely nothing at all but trouble. I don't know why. It's I mean, it should work with Windows 3.1. I mean, I've had more modern machines work with it, so I don't know what the hell is going on. Right, that is a default protocol, and enable automatic DHCP. So I really don't know what the issue is. Right. Right, okay, again, it's just not doing it. Right. I've got the network card working. It turns out what I'd actually done was the wrong thing. See, what I'd been messing about with the sound card drivers and, you know, try to get that to work. And it turns out what I did in my haste to get rid of the references to the non-working sound card driver in autoexec.bat, I got it into my thick head that there was a config.sys backup that was made by the ESS installation program as well. But it turns out I was wrong! So, yeah, I ended up having to go back to the pre-Windows installation config.sys, which did not have the ifshlp.sys file loaded. So that's now been loaded. So hopefully I should just be able to now start Windows, as you do. Now, obviously, yes, the one of the lights has came on the PCMCIA adapter. Should be the 100 meg lit. Jings. Now, bearing in mind, Windows can take its sweet old time to start when you have a network card installed. Windows for Workgroups 3.11. Well, and Windows for Workgroups 3.1, it did exist. They could do networking, but you see, it wasn't that good at it. You know, I mean, it would do it, and it would do it absolutely fine, but the experience was just a lot better in Windows 95. Think of it this way, okay? Windows XP, it could do wireless networking, but it was a wee bit clunky. When Windows Vista came around, however, it got wireless networking down to a fine art. Anyway, let me just type in a password. Right, so here we are. We should now be logged on to the network. Nice. So I'm hoping if I head into the file manager, that I should be able to go to map a network drive. Again, that will take some time. So, yeah, again, this will take some time. And this is why it's a good idea to actually map network drives, because once they're mapped, you know, it'll basically load like it's a local drive on the system. Not just in drive letter access, but, you know, basically in, you know, it'll just be a lot faster. Right, okay, I want to reconnect at startup. And as you can see, my server is spotted here. MILF, Debian 4.2. Whatever it is. So what I can do, I can double click on that and then go to share, and then I want to map that to the M drive. That's how I have it mapped on any other machines. So there you have it. I know some of these file names are a wee bit dodgy, but mostly in installs, what I like to do, at least on the retro end, is, you know, I try and have it as kind of 8-character file names. So, for example, you know, I've got a whole bunch of programs here. Yes, some of them won't work on Windows 3.1, but some of them will. So, for example, yeah. So we've got the WordPerfect Office Suite. So I guess I could go ahead and install that actually if I wanted to. So let's do exactly that. Install. Whoops. Have I done my usual? Have I done my usual not letting go of the shift key? Okay, and then what I can do there is I can click OK, and there we have it. I am now installing the Corel WordPerfect suite for Microsoft Windows. Would you take a look at that little baby? Right, now we've gone and done it. Introducing the Corel WordPerfect suite. Right, okay. So what I think I will do is I will just let this continue off camera. So that's Corel WordPerfect successfully installed from the network. So let's see if we can start it up. No printer detected. Well, that's just great. Actually, you might be wondering why there's no printer being detected. Well, first of all, I actually reinstalled Windows when it wasn't working the first time round. So I reinstalled off camera. Completely forgot about my rule of thumb, my newer rule of thumb of setting up a printer with it. Actually, this is exactly why you should maybe set up a printer in Windows 3.1, even if it's one that you never own. Just kind of set a printer driver up, because some programs, they don't very much like it if you don't. Also, I've got to say, I'm looking at this toolbar here, and I'm starting to wonder, am I sure I installed Corel and not Lotus ME Pro? You know, because this does very much have the interface, and everything acts exactly the same as it does in Ami Pro. Or Ami Pro, I can't even mind how you pronounce it. But, yeah, it's like tooltips appear on the toolbar, on the title bar rather. The save icon, the open icon is an arrow coming up out of a folder, just like Ami Pro. The formatting toolbar, the what would be editable text fields in Microsoft Word are actually 3D and grey, and just kind of come. You just get the menu. The only difference is they're at the top rather than the bottom. So yeah, I mean, it looks, and the toolbar buttons seem to have that kind of. Well, it looks like a later version of. In fact, the toolbar buttons kind of make it look a bit like Word Pro 97 almost. But yeah, so there you have it. I do have some software installed, what have you. So there you have it, and there's also all kinds of utilities that have been included on here. So I guess now the only thing left to do is just to give this thing a quick MIDI test, and to be honest, there's only one way I know how to do this in Windows 3.1. There's only one way you really can go. The percussion is there, but it's very silent. I must admit, I do love the ESFM sound, the ESS FM synthesis. It has its own distinctive sound, which is slightly different from the regular OPL FM synthesis. This is nice. I like this sound. Obviously, I like it because it reminds me of the Presario 2240. In fact, we can actually see exactly what MIDI this is using. We can go to the MIDI mapper, and yep, ESS stereo, ESS audio drive stereo MIDI, and there's all kinds of. I could even try ESS extended. You know, it's or yeah, I think stereo would be the best one. You know, there's different types of MIDI profiles I can try if I wanted to. But I think this is probably going to be the best one. Anyway, with that, there's really nothing more that I can do with this machine that wouldn't drag this video out unnecessarily. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to shut down. And I'm going to end the video here. So, I'd like to thank you all for watching this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please feel free to subscribe to Videos on Frontier, to like Videos on Frontier on Facebook, and feel free to follow me on Twitter. But for the meantime, thank you for watching, and I hope you'll all join me for my next video. Cheery bye. And in next week's video, I run for Mayor of Aberdeen. Do I have what it takes? Let's find out.